Hello everyone, my name is Prashant and the topic for today's video is Terraform pipeline using Jenkins. So let's go back and let me start from where I started this journey. So if you go to my YouTube channel and you will see that earlier I showed you about the Python Boto3 library. Then using that Boto3 library, you have learned a bunch of stuff. And one of the things that you have learned is how to stop EC2 instances using Boto3. I also have a bunch of example in my YouTube channel, like using Boto3, how to rotate the key or how to clean up the snapshot, clear the snapshot, clean up the EBS volume. And this stopping the EC2 instance is one of them. Okay. Once we have learned that, in order to further automate that, we have used this EC2 script which we have created on Boto3 using Lambda. Okay, so using Lambda we have automated this process further. Now, after automating this process, we think that there's a further level of automation required. So what we have done, we have used this EC2 along with the Lambda using Terraform to build up this whole automation process. So first, let me go through it. So first you have learned this Boto3, right? Using that Boto3 module, you have created a script to stop and start EC2 instance on the interval that we have defined. Now to further automate that, we have used Lambda, and Lambda along with the combination of CloudWatch rules, we have defined an interval that at that interval we need to stop or start the instances. Once that is done, we thought that further level of automation is required, and that's where we use Terraform to build the entire infrastructure. Okay, rather than using the AWS console, we use the Terraform. Now the one thing which still left, that the Terraform script that I am running is through my laptop or from my desktop or from any of the cloud server. Isn't it great that we have some kind of a pipeline where a user can push a code to the Git, and from Git it is going to trigger the pipeline. So some kind of a Git workflow, right? Or a new thing which is emerging nowadays called GitOps. So basically what we need to build is, like, we have a GitHub, like a user or your developer or your DevOps engineer is going to push the code to a GitHub. GitHub is going to trigger a Terraform pipeline, and this Terraform pipeline is running using Jenkins. So all the steps which we have seen in my previous video, like Terraform format, or we started with Terraform init to initialize the code, then we have performed Terraform format, right? Then we have performed something called plan. In this case, we will add one more step called validate, so that we can validate our configuration. Then we have plan, and finally we have apply. But just to make this script a little bit extra cautious that unknown changes cannot be pushed into production, before applying the change, we will ask user if he really wants to apply the change. So a manual intervention is required, where user will decide whether he wants to make this change go to a production, or he can simply abort the change. Okay, so now I think I have set up the context, like what exactly we are going to do. We are setting up something kind of GitOps kind of a workflow, where a user is going to push the code to GitHub, which is going to trigger a pipeline, and that pipeline is running on Jenkins, and that pipeline consists of number of these stages. So all the steps which we have performed manually last time using Terraform, that thing which we are going to automate with the help of this Jenkins. Okay, so enough talking. Let's go to my this, and I already have a Jenkins server up and running. If you want to set up Jenkins, it is pretty straightforward. I am running CentOS 7 right now. So in order to set up Jenkins, you just need to download this yum repo and then import the key and then install Jenkins. Okay. One thing, please remember, let me show you that. So if you are using etc let me show you. I'm running CentOS 7.9. Okay, and if you try to list out the OpenJDK package, because Jenkins is written using Java, so Java is one of the requirement. Okay, and if you list out those packages, you see at the bottom you are seeing 1.16 version, right? And at the top is 1.11 and 1.8, 1.7, and so on and so forth. Okay, if you look at if you read the Jenkins documentation, Jenkins only supports Jenkins Java version 8 or Java version 11. Okay, prior version like 7, 9, all these, or newer version like 12, 13, they are not supported. So please make sure that when you install the version of this OpenJDK, it should be either version 11 or it will be version 8. Okay, so in this case I have installed Java version 11. Okay, so first thing, right? And installing Jenkins is pretty straightforward. It is just you need to run this handful of 3 commands. The second thing is, because we are going to run the Terraform pipeline, we need Terraform to be installed on the machine. So right now I'm running Terraform versions 1.0.2, which is the latest version so far. We can install it with the help of plugins also, but the problem with the plugin which I found, that the Terraform plugin or the Terraform plugin for Jenkins used to have the version alpha, which I'm going to show you later. So that's why I'm installing it manually. Okay, otherwise you can if you are okay with the alpha plugin, then I will say let's use plugin to install the Terraform. Okay, so one thing that, and if you want to install this Terraform package manually, just go to the Terraform website. Okay, this one, depending upon your platform, download it. For example, in my case it's 64-bit operating system. Once that has been downloaded, let me show you. Terraform. Okay, so it's going to be a zip file. You need to untar it, and once it's been untarred, or unzip it, so you need to run unzip and then whatever be the file name. Okay, and after that you can move into any of this path variable. So in my case I moved it to usr bin Terraform. Sorry, I have installed Terraform here, sorry. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so now Jenkins is up and running, Terraform is up. The next thing is you need to make sure that the Git RPM is installed, because we are going to interact with Git. So Git should be installed on this system. Okay. And I think it's Git -version. So 1.8.3.1, which is the older version, but still for this demo I'm using this version which comes along with the CentOS 7. Okay, so now this is done. Let's go to the Jenkins console and let's start working. So first thing which I'm going to do is going to install the Terraform plugin, and to do that let's go to manage Jenkins, go to manage plugins, go to available and search for Terraform. Okay. And just a build wrapper, do it, click on it and install without restart. This plugin does not require any restart of your Jenkins, so you can safely do that without restarting your Jenkins machine. Okay. Go back to the top of page. Now in order to configure Terraform via Jenkins, let's go to global tool configuration. Click here. This will come only once you have that plugin installed, and I will name it as, with no surprise, Terraform. That's what I was telling you, that you can install it automatically and it is going to give you all these options. Please make sure that Darwin is for Mac. So in case if you want to install it for Linux, and for, I believe most of you guys have 64 operating bit system, you can choose this one, but I prefer to do it manually, and I'm going to define the location where that Terraform is stored. Please make sure do not give the entire path, just give the path enough which is through which it is able to search the Terraform binary. Okay, so apply and save. Okay, now the next thing is we need to configure a bunch of variables. So first thing is, let's go to manage credentials, Jenkins, global credentials, and add credentials. Okay, and first one is we are going to add the GitHub API. So this is going to be GitHub_API, and let me copy my GitHub API token. Now let me copy that and then I will tell you what exactly I am doing. Okay, so I copy that. So let's go to GitHub. Okay, click on your user icon and click on setting. Okay, and then in the developer settings, click on personal access token and generate new token. Let me show you one more time. Click here, click on settings, click on developer settings, and then personal access token and generate new token. Okay, so what is the use of this personal access token? So in case if you want to interact GitHub with the help of an API, you need to create a token. So simplest way to understand this, for example, you need to interact with GitHub. So first time when you log into GitHub, it asks for username and a password. So similarly, if you want to interact with a GitHub API, and that our aim is to automate this entire process. So in order to automate this entire process, we need to create some token. And with the help of this token, it helps us to authenticate to that API or the GitHub endpoint. Okay. And what is that endpoint? I'm going to show you now. Okay. But before that, when you are going to create the token, for example, my test token, you are going to give it a name and you need to select the scope of this token. So please be careful when you are going to select the scope. Do not give any extra permission to your scope if it is not required. So for example, if you give this admin level permission, right, or in there you will see somewhere called delete repo. So these are really powerful ones once you give admin level permissions. Okay, so please make sure, depending upon your requirement, please check this GitHub documentation for describing the scopes for your auth, and then only whatever it is required for your particular use case, then only supply that much level of permission, or only include or apply that much level of permission. Okay, so I've already created this test token and that I have exported here. Now let me show you how to use that. Manage Jenkins, go to configure system, okay, scroll down. Here you see add GitHub server. Let me give it a name called GitHub_API. Okay, API URL is this. This is a GitHub endpoint which we are going to interact, and credentials that we have just configured. Okay, please make sure click the manage hooks and test connection. So credential verified, and you should see like something like this. So apply. So that means it is successfully authenticated from this server, from this Jenkins machine to GitHub, and save. So this is done. This part is done. Okay. We need to export few more credentials, and let me go here, manage Jenkins again, manage credentials, Jenkins, global credentials, add credentials. Okay, again it's going to be secret text, and the ID is, let me give you this AWS access key ID, secret. Okay, first one is this AWS secret access key. Once again it is a secret text, ID is this, and So what exactly we are trying to do here? So if you remember in the last video, I mean the Boto 3, we all know it's a Python module for AWS. So once this Terraform pipeline trigger, it is going to create some resources in AWS. Okay. And similarly, we have, like the way we have created the personal access token for GitHub. Similarly, in order to interact with the AWS via the API, we need to create the access key as well as secret key. So I have already discussed all these things in this Boto 3 video. So if you do not understand this, please check this video. Okay. So now we are done with creating all these things. Okay. Now let's go back to Jenkins again. Dashboard. Okay. Now the next part is let's create a Jenkins job. Okay. So in order to create a Jenkins job, we can click on new item. I can give it a name Jenkins Terraform pipeline, and it's a pipeline. Click on OK. Okay. Make sure you have something called GitHub trigger for Git SCM polling. I'm going to tell you what exactly this is going to do. Just give me a few minutes. And pipeline script from SCM. And this. So basically I'm telling it to go to GitHub and pull the file. So what exactly is that file is? Let me show you. Let me go back to my GitHub repo. 100 days of DevOps. And you will see Jenkins Terraform pipeline. So I need to give the path to my GitHub URL. So let me give that. Where's my Jenkins? This guy. Okay. Because this is a public URL, so I don't need to give any credentials. And then I need to specify the path of my Jenkins file. So my Jenkins file path is this. I don't want to do a lightweight checkout and apply. Okay. So what exactly we are doing here? Let me go step by step. So what we are doing, we are specifying a pipeline script where I gave the path to my GitHub repo, and this is a Jenkins file. So let me show you this Jenkins file and what exactly this Jenkins file is going to do. That whatever the steps we have done manually, it is going to automate that entire process. Okay. So let me go here and let me show you the Jenkins file. Okay. This one. So like I said, the main function of Jenkins pipeline, Jenkins file, is to automate this entire process. So what we have done here, this is how this Jenkins file will look like. It is basically a Groovy script where we have defined the pipeline block, and then we are specifying agent, which can be any. Means this can be a virtual machine, it can be a Docker container. So here I'm specifying it can be any. Here I'm defining the tools that I have used. Okay, and in this case I'm using Terraform as a tool. Okay, in case if you do not understand how to generate this syntax, just go to this pipeline syntax at the bottom of this. Okay, declarative tools generator. Click here and you will see somewhere tools and generate. So it is going to automatically generate this syntax for you. Similarly, let's say I need to run shell script, and that shell script is, for example, that Terraform init. So it's going to generate what exactly will be the syntax in the Jenkins file. Okay, so let's go back to a Jenkins file. The next thing is we are defining something called a workspace. So in the simplest term, what workspace will do, it's going to give you a different workspace or a different directory where you can store your TF state file or a Terraform state file. And Terraform state file is what Terraform is going to refer and see what exactly is the change in the current configuration versus what will be the desired configuration. So depending upon our requirement, for example, in this case, I'm specifying default workspace as development, but you will see that in Jenkins UI, you have the option to change this workspace to some other environment. So for example, I can change it to the QA environment, and then it's going to create a separate TF state file in the QA environment. Okay. Then I'm exporting the bunch of environment variable. For example, the same thing which we have defined with the help of that plugin, the tool which we are using, Terraform. Then right now I'm setting up the log variable as a warning state, but Jenkins support, not Jenkins, Terraform support the bunch of these options. And the more the value is, for example, it support trace, debug, info, warning, or error, which is going to change the verbosity of your logs. Okay. Once that has been done, the path, I'm exporting the Terraform into my path variable, the access key and secret access key. If you remember, we have specified this in the credentials. So when we have created those credentials, we have specified that credentials here, access key and secret access key. Okay. And that I'm going to refer in my code. Okay. Now it's simple. After that, we need to define the stages. And what are those stages are? In the first stage, we have the Terraform init. What this is going to do is going to initialize the same thing. Then we are going to format it. Like we need to make sure that it is following all the linting and all the syntax. So that's what we are doing it. The extra thing which we have added here is to validate, to make sure that the configuration that we are pushing is the valid configuration. This is going to be a little bit tricky here, where we are specifying the plan. So what exactly I'm doing here is trying to catch some error. So first thing is, it's going to create a new workspace. So we have defined that if a user is not going to specify any workspace, the default workspace is going to be development. But if a user is going to specify, if the workspace development already exists, then it's just going to select that workspace. And then we are going to create a plan, and we are going to run the plan by accessing those variables, okay, and save the output of that into Terraform tf.plan file. Okay, this I think may be something new for few people, but we need to make sure that there will be no changes by the time we are running the script and by the time we are doing the apply, and that's why we are saving the output of this into terraform.tfplan file, and we are stashing this file. Okay, I'm going to tell you why we are doing it. The next step is Terraform apply, and that's what I told you here, that we want some kind of a manual intervention. We don't want a change to be pushed directly to the production. So what we are doing it here is like the default apply is false. We are asking user, this is what this input is going to do. So can you please confirm the apply okay or ready to apply the config? So that you are going to see on the UI. And if it is false, then we are going to just do build unstable. If you are going to do something more aggressive, you can even run Terraform destroy at this stage. If the user is going to do error, means if he's going to say, okay, don't apply this change, abort it, then you can just destroy it. But in case if user said, okay, he is ready to apply the change, then just run Terraform apply terraform.tfplan. And this file we have created at this stage here, and before applying that file, we are going to just unstash that file because we have stashed at this stage. So basically it's a Jenkins file, and whatever the steps we have performed manually here, right, in the earlier video, we are just trying to automate it, but with the help of a Jenkins. So let me try to run it first, and then I will show you. So go to dashboard, go here, and in order to run the pipeline, click on build now. Okay. Let me go here so that I will show you few of the stages. Okay, so see, it is performing the checkout of the SCM repository. Okay. Then whatever the tools we have installed, we have mentioned in the that plugin, is doing that. This is where what we have defined in that Terraform in that Jenkins file, the Terraform init stage, our first stage. then it is doing the formatting if the file is not formatted. And because we are not doing any error handling here like this, if the file is not formatted, the script is just going to abort. Okay, then it is doing the validation, okay, to make sure that the file is properly validated, I mean is following all the syntax rule. Then we are doing a plan, right? And the last step is apply. And I said that before applying the change, we are going to ask for a permission. So if you hover over there, it will say, can you please confirm the apply, ready to apply the config or abort? Okay. And if you even go here, is that, click on this, click on console output. Can you please confirm the apply, ready to apply the config or abort? So let's say ready to apply the config. And now it's running Terraform apply on that terraform.tf plan. So if you go to the AWS console, go to EC2, okay, start spinning up this instance. Okay, so this is first part we have done, that we have created this pipeline. Okay, now I have told you that we need some kind of a automated workflow where a user just checking into this GitHub, and from GitHub it's going to trigger it. Okay, so the way we are going to handle that is with the help of webhooks. So if you can go to the your GitHub repo. Okay, let me go back to my GitHub repo. Go to settings. Okay, go to webhooks. Click on add webhook. And here you need to specify your Jenkins URL. So in my case, it is this. Okay. The one thing, remember that you need to add something in front of it. So what you need to add is called, in order to identify that this is a GitHub webhook, this /GitHub/webhook, then application JSON, and just the push event, or let's say send me everything. Okay, now this has been done, right? You can verify it. Just go here and verify that the recent delivery looks green. Okay, you can even see that what exactly it has done. So basically we have configured, if you remember, and as you can see that the build runs successfully. So if you remember, manage Jenkins, configure system, we have configured this GitHub API token here, right? So this is the way how Jenkins is going to interact with GitHub. And for GitHub to interact with the Jenkins pack, we have configured that webhooks. Okay. And also in the build pipeline, in order to trigger it, you need to do something called, where exactly is GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling. Okay. Now, if you try to run this job again, let me show you one more thing. Earlier, if you remember, it said build now, but now you have build with parameters, and that is what workspace is going to do. So here you can even define QA, and now your workspace is going to create a separate TF state file in QA environment. Okay. Now, because we have configured a webhook, now we don't need to trigger this job manually. Let me go to my Git, my repository, and let me change this. And I think I haven't shown you this. This is a simple main.tf file where what exactly I'm defining, I'm specifying, let me make it bigger. My provider is AWS and the region is US West 2, and I'm trying to create a AWS instance using this AMI, and the instance type is t2.nano. So let me make some changes, and let me say it's t2.medium. Okay, let me commit that change. Okay, and because we have committed this change, now because we have configured the GitHub webhook, So this, once we have commit the change, this GitHub webhook should trigger our Terraform pipeline which is running on Jenkins. So let's go back and see if it's actually triggered. So see, it has triggered the pipeline. And if you look at the logs, started by GitHub push by this much. So this part is working fine. Okay. So now you have automated this further process. Now one thing which I can just give you a pointer. I'm not going to do that, but I can do that. If you go to settings, and which I feel like everybody should need to implement in their organization. If you go to branches, let me make it small. If to further fine grain the security, we can add the branch protection rule, which means, let me give it a branch pattern master. So what exactly people need to do is to raise a pull request before merging into the master. Okay, and we can even do require status check and branch to be up to date. So now, because I have added this branch protection and I am an admin, so I can push it, but what other people need to do is, let's go back here. They need to create a new branch. Let's say its name is Terraform dev. Okay. And let's say I need to make some other modification. Let's say I'm reverting it back to the nano. Commit changes. Okay. I have committed this change because I am an admin, so I can do all these things, right? But now I can raise a pull request, right? This means if you see, there is a change between these two, and I can create a pull request. Okay, and see that I need someone else to review it, and that person need to merge this pull request. I cannot merge my own pull request. If I go here and try to review the change, this approval button is not highlighted for me. But because I'm an admin, I can merge this pull request. To merge this pull request, which is a bad idea, right? The pull request is successfully merged, and this should trigger a Jenkins build. See, this triggered Jenkins build. So again, we are following a GitOps workflow, where rather than pushing directly to the master, what we do, people need to create a new branch, because we have enabled the branch protection, if you remember. And this is a good security practice, like whatever be your pristine branch which we used to push the changes to to production, please make it as enable the branch protection in them. So branches, and enable the branch protection rules. Okay, I have added only one rule, but it's completely based on your requirement, right? That you want to do all these things, right? And I think there are a bunch of other things: sign, commit, linear history, administrator, all those. Okay, but please make sure that at least one reviewer is required. And once the other developer create a new branch, he is going to raise a pull request, and based on the pull request, only the other developers need to review it, and only he's going to merge into the master after that. After reviewing, he's only going to merge into the master branch. Okay, so this is one kind of a GitOps workflow. So I think I have covered all the points. Just remember this, that how we have automated this entire process, a little bit about the Jenkins file, and how we integrated this different components. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. If you have any comment, please post in the comment section. I will try my best to answer those questions, but thanks again.